Here's a random thought that I just had not a moment ago. I never really took to the whole "Why So Serious" campaign or catchphrase or whatever the hell you call it for the Dark Knight because I know what it's trying to say, but you know, it sounds similar to the same kind of phrase, "Why so glum?" Right? They just replace glum with serious. Glum actually is a more accurate or precise terminology, word usage. Don't you think? Glum is precisely that. You're not happy. You're not. It's basically saying you're sad. You know why so sad? You know. But the Joker is about being facetious and jokery. So they try to say, okay, the opposite of that is seriousness. But serious doesn't just mean completely. Uh, it just does not mean only to be humorless and joyless. You can be seriously happy, seriously um, related. So I know what they were going for there, but it doesn't. It's too stupid. It doesn't actually. It's just too stupid to be actually a clever thing to terminology because the original thing was why so glum, really. And if you and they couldn't possibly sell the movie on that, so they just ripped the word out. The Dark Knight's a hard movie to like wholly, you know. It's like half a good movie, half an awful movie put together, and then it just you're scratching your head wondering how they could possibly let stupid little things like the kids with the guns and the cliche line, um, what do you call it? Have a nice trip. What do you call it? Have a good trip. See you next fall. That's the stupidest line I ever heard in a big budget movie, and it's just stupid. I saw the Avengers today, which was it's fantastic in a lot of ways. And I agree with a lot of people though that it's not this masterpiece. It is a serviceable first ensemble film for what they accomplished. What the thing is, the film never had a chance to be perfect anyway because these characters are all from these very, I'd say, um, mediocre films. Captain America's a mediocre film. Iron Man's a mediocre film. Thor's a mediocre film. So you bring these characters, actors, and all that from these mediocre films, and you put them together in a film that's actually better than the original films that they came from. But they still have to call back, and in fact, the movies do. This movie flashbacks to these other movies, and it's getting out of hand how people are. You can tell the movie studios online, they're just saying, "Oh, this movie's a shit. This movie's a shit," again and again and again. They're on there, they're aggressively promoting the movie on message boards and talkbacks and all that. And the movie is good, but it doesn't deserve that kind of overly over the top praise that it's getting now. It's hyperbole, you know. It's a crowd pleaser movie. That's the thing. It's really about. When I see it, when I saw about 5, 10 people in the movie theater, like one little kid. So I can imagine that when it was shown on its opening day and there was a crowd of people that ate it up. When you watch the movie again, and it's just you and you're sitting there watching it. It's very much a it's a fluffy popcorn film with very little substance going on. They didn't. It's not gonna last as more than the experience. You know, but it's better than those Transformers movies. We got to give it to the people behind this one that they didn't just throw it all together and put a bunch of special effects and ass cheeks and titties in it and call it a day. They actually thought, to some extent, what can we do to create a thought-provoking little movie here? And yeah, there's moments when they question the reasons to have their these. I like the whole plot where the point of him trying to use the cosmic cube from Captain America movie was because he was intending to create a weapon that could be used against Thor or people like Thor in the future, you know. And they had a whole debate about what his and Nick Fury's intentions were all along, what mankind's intentions were, and Captain America was pissed off about it. It was great. That was great stuff. Ultimately, they decided that the Avengers was going to be the last line of defense as against any kind of threat to Earth. That was going to be super powerful and all that. That's a good idea too. Thing is, that's still on the table. What can mankind do if Thor turns around and tries to beat up everybody? What can they do against the Hulk if that happens, and so on and so forth? There's probably still a secret base somewhere where they're trying to create super weapons. So it's not over, man. There's still possibilities. That's why Iron Man came in and did what he did. But yeah, the movie is definitely not crap. People complain about the villain and all that, but I guess that's a weak spot. It's when you see the alien set, it's pretty much Star Trek bullshit. It's so lame, you know. They didn't. You see the rest of the movie mad expensive looking and good, and then they get to the alien part with the aliens and the aliens like shit. It's just like the Power Rangers level shit. And you wonder what the fuck happened there. But whatever, right? This is the first time that we've actually gotten something like this in a comic movie. Every comic movie is so scared shitless, except for something like Thor, which has no choice. But they're scared shitless of doing things with aliens in them. But that's straight out of the comics, you know? Can't hide away from that shit. So this time we got aliens. This was really a lot like a cartoon, this movie, you know? Because the cartoons you watch in the morning time, they got aliens and shit in them, just like the comics, you know? You watch the X-Men movies or whatever, and you're not going to get that ever because it's just, they're too scared to try it, you know? It's just too far-fetched an idea. If I had to liken it to any kind of movie, there's a little bit of Masters of the Universe going on. It's way better than that piece of shit, but it's a similar thing. There's a portal open and they're trying to do some sort of shit with it. There's some sort of shit going on. Virtual worlds coming together, and there's a guy with powerful shit, blonde guy, and fights some big muscles and all that shit. It's kind of the same. Yeah, man. Definitely looking forward to the sequel. And, you know, I liked this kind of movie back as a kid. So, I can imagine a lot of kids going crazy for this shit. They're going nuts, man. Because, it didn't matter. I love Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Superman, especially X-Men when that finally came around. So, it's right up their alley, man. And but it's very dark. There's a lot of blood, a lot of violence. Uh, so be cautious with the very young, but take the young, older, more mature motherfuckers through it, and yeah, they have a good time. You know, see the Hulk do shit. You know, about to, what I'm about to see the new Batman. The Spider-Man trailer really good on the big screen. You really gotta check it out in the movie theater instead of just on some shitty little laptop or iPad. That was nice. You know? And my hope is that cause they really try. It looked so like they didn't fuck it up. You know, they really made it look real this time. Cause in the older movies they said fuck it, let's make Spider-Man look like a freaking cartoon every time he's Spider-Man. This time they really did a good job. It looks so much like, you know, there was a shot where Peter was sitting on a building. It never looked like the other movies. He's just sitting there on a building, and it looks like an iconic Spider-Man shot, and it's not fake, and it's just no CGI. It's just him on top of a huge ass building. Beautiful. And there's the shots where they really did it. It looks fantastic. Hopefully, I mean, it's got some issues with the fucking silver boots. I don't know what that's about. The hell is trying to prove with that shit? But you know, I'll deal with it as long as they keep it grounded in reality in a lot of ways. You know, that's what's great about old movies done in the old days with special effects in them to enhance them, is that they didn't have what we have now, which is like full on 100% CGI everything. They had no choice but to make it practically with practical effects. So they use a lot of very simple, basic magic tricks to create this illusion of something happening. Like movies like The Fly or whatever like that, where I like, how come in that movie his wall crawling is more convincing than anything I saw in fucking Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. He barely wall crawls in those movies, honestly. He's pretty much Superman in those. Anytime he needs to get anywhere, he throws his web in the air and suddenly he's there. You know, stupid and gay and retarded. I mean, effects is just awful in those movies. Yeah, the thing is that they made, whenever Spider-Man is Spider-Man, it looks like a video game. That's the problem. This movie is trying to make it, hopefully, I hope they do this. They just keep the camera freaking still for a little longer than they do in the other movies, because that's what helps make it look real. Because they can't swing the camera in 50, 100 bazillion angles when they're shooting live action. It just cannot be done. But when they change the Spider-Man in the other movies and he's CGI now, they have the camera go up his ass and around his dick, and it just goes everywhere, and it's the stupidest thing ever. So yeah, that's what I need to do. And then we're good, man. Spider-Man needs to be funny and, you know, spitfire wit, and you know, try to have a little more drama. I think more interesting personality clashing going on than what we've gotten, because that's what I like to see. I like to see these kinds of things. Like, the problem with the old movies was they were too cartoony, you know. But in the real life, people don't act like that. Gotta add a bit more reality to these kinds of movies, you know. It's a problem what's going on. Oh, and I'll show you my electric bike when I get it. I'm about to get that shit. And until then, keep it real. Yeah.